This analysis aims to solve Call of Duty's two fundamental issues. It also includes multiple new systems, challenges, rewards, and improvements. You especially don't want to miss Chapter 2. With the intro out of the way, let's dive in. Quick heads up, I lost most of my original clips, so some of the footages, including my best clips, are lower quality. Call of Duty multiplayer has been declining since 2013. But why? Many people say it's because COD has changed. But in reality, it's not COD that changed. It's us. I know what you're thinking. This is false. COD changed. The gunsmith replaced the Pick-10, which had replaced the old system. Movement keeps evolving, and we even got 3 jetpack games. But all these changes are just mechanics. Real change doesn't come from surface tweaks. It comes from changing what players are actually trying to do. AKA, changing the goal. This concept of goal is called game mode archetypes. Game mode archetypes are the DNA of a game. They shape how matches are built, how players move through them, and how victory is earned. For shooters, 3 core parts define it. The first is the match format that dictate how the match is structured. Call of Duty multiplayer falls into the continuous play category since the vast majority of game modes only stop when there's a winner. The second is the match flow that dictate if the match includes a respawn mechanic or follows a one-life format. COD multiplayer is almost exclusively a respawn-based game. The third is the primary objective and win condition that determines what's required to win and how to accomplish it. Now that we understand the theory, let's put our newfound knowledge into action in the next part. In the 50-plus years since video games became a thing, players have gotten way better. That evolution is known as player skill progression. As players get better, they look for more challenging and complex experiences. This is known as increasing player expectations. 10 to 15 years ago, continuous play respawn game mode was king. But if these two concepts are accurate, it would mean that this mode will eventually feel too easy and predictable. So let's test that theory. What are the most popular shooters right now, and how do their game mode archetype compare? When we look at them, a clearer pattern emerges. I'm excluding the game that came out in the last 6 weeks, since we're still in the honeymoon period, but the overall picture is still the same. The only exception is Battlefield 6, which deserves attention. It's a solid title, but keep in mind that it's most likely going to lose over 50% of its players within the next 2 to 5 months. That's especially important because, unlike Call of Duty, Battlefield games have an average 3 years life cycle. So what are the most popular shooters this year? These games are Marvel Rivals, Valorant, Counter-Strike, and Fortnite. Their game archetypes are Hero Shooter, Battle Royale, and One Life Round Base. I'm using their common game categories to make it simpler. The current dominance of these archetypes aligns perfectly with the player skill progression and the increasing player expectations concepts. Now, let's take a look at the most popular respawn-based game this year, excluding Battlefield 6. We have BO6, X-Defiant, and Halo. It seems like the prediction was correct. By now, you're probably starting to understand where I'm going with this. Call of Duty needs a new game mode archetype. But here's the question, will it actually work? In the last 15 years, the only archetype added to Call of Duty was Warzone. So, I'm pretty confident it could work. We've got 2 other archetypes left to consider since we already have continuous play respawn and a battle royale. They are Hero Shooters and One Life Round Based. COD devs already try Hero Shooters archetypes with Black Ops 4. And it wasn't it. The true natural evolution of respawn is the One Life Round Based archetypes. Truth is, we already have it. We call it Search and Destroy. But why hasn't it taken off the same way Valorant and Counter-Strike have? So, why Search and Destroy isn't as popular as Valorant or Counter-Strike if they all have the same game mode archetype? First, its lack of identity. S&D stands alone in a sea of respawn game modes. To solve this, we can add a dedicated section for round-based modes. Second issue, compared to games like Valorant or Counter-Strike, Search and Destroy feels too simple for some players. There's no money mechanic, the bomb sites are fixed, and each side of the map has a set role. One attacks, the other defends. To add variety and complexity, we could add an attack and defense role on both sides of the map. In baby terms, we're doubling the variation from 4 to 8. Also, rotating bomb site locations would add even more variation in a match. Third issue. S&D is not everyone cup of rum. The game needs round-based mode variety. I believe it needs 3 core modes. The first is obviously Search and Destroy, followed by Cyber Attack, that dropped with MW 2019 and makes up most of the gameplay in this video. It's my all-time favorite mode, and I've been playing Call of Duty for 16 years straight, so you know it's good. For the third, it's more complicated. Since none of the other one-life modes introduced over the years were good enough, the mode should be a Valorant/Counter-Strike clone-ish. And fourth issue, everything about Call of Duty multiplayer is designed around respawn. Round-based modes are just an afterthought. But before we can fix it, we need to compare 2 games to fully grasp this design flaw. Let's break down the maps in Modern Warfare 2019. They were large and complex, making respawn modes a nightmare. Campers were everywhere, matches dragged until the timer expired, and open areas felt like no man's lands. With Modern Warfare 2 2022, Infinity Ward did a 180 by making the maps smaller and simpler. This change made respawn gameplay far more enjoyable. But there's a fundamental problem. What works for respawn maps is the exact opposite of what works for round-based modes. Round-based players actually had a better experience with the bigger, more complex maps of Modern Warfare 2019. In fact, it stands as the best Call of Duty for round-based gameplay in over a decade, stretching from 2025 back to Black Ops 2 in 2012. Maps truly can make or break a game mode archetype. So how do we design maps that suit both game mode archetypes, even though their criteria are opposite? Worry not, I've got a pretty simple solution. Here's how we fix the maps. First, we build a map made just for respawn. To do that right, we have to stick to a few key criteria. The map size and complexity should range from medium-low to medium-high, designed for the best respawn experience. Once that's done, we duplicate the map and reshape it using the round-based criteria. The map size and complexity should range from medium-high to high, designed for the best round-based experience. To do that, we start by expanding the map. Then, if need be, we modify the layout, lanes, and buildings, while adding elements throughout the map to increase its complexity. It's crucial that the enlarged maps don't feel like a recycled version, but instead feel like it was always meant to be that way. We'll call the original respawn version Standard Map, and the bigger version Extended Map. Now, let's assign the game modes to the appropriate map types. Standard maps are for core respawn, hardcore, and party modes. Extended maps are for round-based and ground war. Goals and recognitions is one of Call of Duty's most important yet overlooked aspects. You might understand why they matter, but not their full extent, or the dynamic they have on the game. Black Ops 7 made noticeable progress in this area, but it still isn't enough, and those improvements are pretty small compared to what I have in stock for you. This chapter is packed with meaningful new challenges, rewards, and recognitions. Some of these ideas are so good, Activision should pay me for them. Until then, I'm calling dibs on all of them. You might not understand the correlation with COD at first, but let me cook. It'll all make sense in due time. For every human being in an online game, just like in real life, having a goal that drives you and feeling important are 2 of the most essential motivators. As John Dewey once said, "The deepest urge in human nature is the desire to be important." Goals and the desire to be important are essential for feeling significant, which is one of the 3 roots that define absolutely everything about yourself. Significance is the fundamental need to feel that your existence matters. Without goal, your life feels meaningless. Without the feeling importance, you feel worthless. How do you receive this feeling of importance while playing the game? When players see or recognize your skills or accomplishments. How can players see or recognize your skills? through these game features: the scoreboard, kill cam, and play of the game. How can players see or recognize your accomplishments? Through these visual achievements: weapons camos, player level, calling cards, and emblems. All this create this dynamic. The challenge drive correlation. Working toward challenges gives you goals to reach. The more meaningful they are, and the more they change how you play, the more engaged you become. Achieving a goal boosts your sense of importance throughout the game's life cycle, while every match becomes an opportunity to earn players' recognition for your skills. I hope this simple code helped. The best example of investing a lot of time for recognition is the camo grind. Sure, the camos look great, but they represent so much more than just appearance. Multiplayer has never been just about playing. It's also about being seen. You made it. The oversimplify theory is over. Now that you fully understand the importance of this chapter, it's time to add meaningful challenges, adjust existing ones, and make your accomplishments truly stand out. The new and improved player profile keeps the classic calling card and emblem, but adds seasonal emblems and the profile background. Right now, calling cards are almost pointless, since barely anyone knows what they represent. Is that calling card any good? Or it's a Dark Souls-like achievement that you earn for dying? First, let's improve this by including their name or a very short description of the challenge it represents. Second, the calling card completion percentage is completely hidden in the shadows, where only the player can see it. It's time to put it in the spotlight by making equipped calling cards get an animated outline that evolves based on your completion rate. Every 10% completed, the border color and effect change. Calling card challenges are very important, since they bring a lot of variety to the game. They just need to give more recognition to the player. Emblems are a nice decoration, but they're nothing more than that. First off, animated calling cards should come with a matching emblem, especially now with the new player profile that lets you to equip up to 7 emblems at the time. More on that later. And second, mastery badges earned through weapon challenges should unlock a unique and visually impressive weapon reload animation while still keeping the same reload time. Obviously, the challenge requirement should be updated accordingly. The season emblems are earned by completing the 12 labors of Hercules. These labors are divided between trials and multiplayer. The trial labors include classic challenges like gun courses, survival runs, and hardcore parkour. Each one has 3 tiers of completion: silver, gold, and diamond. These trials make up about 7 or 8 of the 12 total labors. Then there are the multiplayer labors. Each season, players are given 2 unmodifiable weapon blueprints with a weird build and challenges tied to their use. Here are examples of what the labors could look like. Get 200 overall kills with the weapon, 50 kills with the shotgun attachment, 10 kills with the flamethrower attachment, 50 kills with slug rounds, and 20 kills with either a ballistic knife or throwing knife. Each labor count as complete once done. Completing all multiplayer labors and earning at least a silver star for every trial labor will unlock the silver season emblem. The same rule applies for the gold and diamond emblems. Season challenges have no time limit, and each season's emblem should feature a unique shape. If you didn't complete all the challenge, or if you don't want to do them, you can place normal emblem instead. The season emblem isn't the only reward you can earn. First, when completing all the multiplayer trials related to a weapon, it becomes customizable in the gunsmith. Second, earning a diamond emblem unlocks a voiced digital weapon screen featuring an iconic franchise character like Price, Ghost, Reznov, or one of the current game's main protagonists. With 6 seasons, we can feature 3 from each category. We've finally reached the best part: the customizable player profile background. Just look at this beauty. You have to admit that this is the best player profile you've ever seen. Backgrounds like this shouldn't be all locked behind a paywall. Multiple backgrounds should be unlocked through dedicated challenges and by completing top-tier achievements like earning the ultimate camo or completing the 100% calling card mastery. With Microsoft owning Activision, Bethesda, and so much more, imagine the possibilities. Master Chief, Doom Guy, Crash Bandicoot, or a Fallout version. They could even collab with other franchises, just like they do with the skins. You're very welcome, Activision, but for all that work, I think I deserve a percentage of the revenues. That's only fair. I wasn't sure where these should go or how best to label them, so I'm calling this section Bonus Goals and Recognition. A combo of these two would be pretty naughty. Right now, voice digital screens only react to certain actions, but they could be so much more. After eliminating an opponent, they could also deliver a line during the kill cam. Something like, skill issue, easy, outplayed and outgunned, GG, blame it on the lag, or something related to the digital screen. Now imagine those lines said by Samuel L. Jackson, Bart Simpson, or Morgan Freeman, without forgetting their iconic quotes. Amazing, right? For the challenges and rewards, I'm pretty done. Activision can handle the last 5% of the job. By the way, if you want the points I covered to actually make it into Call of Duty, everyone needs to like and share this video. If not, it'll be crushed by the YouTube algorithm overlord. Right now, when charms and watches are included in a game, they're nothing more than an insignificant weapon decoration with no challenges attached. But they have massive potential for challenges and rewards. Also, charms should be attachable to the gun's charging handle if the weapon has one, and both a charms and a digital screen should be usable at the same time. The in-game scoreboard in Black Ops 6 is already pretty spot on. Having both teams side by side makes it easier to read, and when you hover over a player, their profile pops up. But still, I'd add one more thing. A big one. Do you know what really annoys me? Dropping a quad feed, a merciless, or whatever, and all I get is a tiny pop-up in the corner of the screen that no one notices. Do you have the same problem? Good news, I've solved the issue you didn't even realize you had. First, we need to tweak the scoreboard a little bit. We start by making it bigger. Then we tighten up the spacing between the three stats. Now with the scoreboard all set, let me introduce you to the brand new system. The match flexes. The space between the player's name and the first stat will be divided into 6 invisible slots, one for each match flex's medals category. The medals themselves are the same as those already in the game. The categories are placed in priority order. First, the Giga Chad category. It gives 1 medal per team to the player currently holding the most objective points, and another to the one with the most kills. If a player holds both, they receive a superior medal called Hard Carrying. These 3 medals are the only ones not already in the game. Second and third, we have the Ace and Clutch categories, which are obviously reserved for one-life game modes. Fourth is Popping Off, the category for kills without dying. Fifth is Lined 'em Up, the category for multi-kills. And finally, Clip It, the category for dope plays like Collateral, 360 no-scopes, ninja diffuses, and more. How does match flexes work? Only 1 medal from each category can be placed, except for Clip It, which has no limit. They are displayed from left to right, starting with the highest category earned. If you earn the same medal more than once, a number will appear next to it showing how many you have. For the Popping Off and Lined 'em Up categories, it will display the highest tier medal earned. If you earn more flex medals than available slots, the oldest Clip It medal will be swapped out for the newest one. A slow TTK is a gun balance nightmare. Full autos are fine, but one-shot weapons like shotguns and snipers either break the game or end up useless. Even a properly balanced sniper in a slow TTK game is hard to use due to a slow ADS. This makes them only viable for hard scoping or for top-tier players. A slow TK forces player to stick with full autos or use the broken one-shot, killing weapon variety and making the gameplay dull. A faster time to kill, on the other hand, makes all weapon categories viable. In the past 7 years, 4 games had an atrociously slow time to kill. These were Black Ops 4, Cold War, MW3, and Black Ops 6. I'm not saying a faster TTK guarantees a better game, but a slower one almost always leads to a worse game. I suggest using MW 2019's launch TTK as the baseline, since it sits around the average. I took samples of AR from Modern Warfare 2019 base game, and the average TTK for a chest shot within 30 meters is 235 milliseconds. In comparison, BO6 has an average TTK of 295 milliseconds for body shot within 40 meters. Multiplayer should act as a funnel into ranked, because that's where the real fun begins. It gives players meaningful goals every season and boosts long-term engagement. Ranked offers the stakes casual modes simply lack, especially for objective respawn players tired of being held back by teammates chasing kills or grinding camos. A big problem with ranked is mixing respawn and round-based modes together. Tons of players, including myself, want to play ranked, but only in their preferred style. Mine is round-based, if you didn't notice. To fix this, we should split ranked in 2. One playlist for respawn ranked, including domination, hardpoint, and control. The other for round-based ranked with search and destroy, cyber attack, and the Valorant Counter-Strike style modes. I'm sure this will have a huge impact on rank. Every Call of Duty struggles with the game mode UI to some degree. Let's go over the 3 main issues. First, game modes get forgotten, either from being spread across menus, or because of poor UI design. If something isn't immediately noticeable, it might as well be invisible. Second, frustration from the way modes are selected and deselected. It'll make more sense once I explain the new UI. Third, the player base gets spread too thin across too many different modes. In Call of Duty, the game mode UI changes drastically from a game to the next. In the case of BO6, it is pretty good, but the modes are still split between 2 separate menus, and within those menus, you can only see the modes from the selected category. Also, not every mode can be added to quick play. Now let's see if we can improve it. To make it easier to follow, I built a version in Unreal. Let's start with rank. I didn't mention it, but gunfight deserves a place in rank. It would be an incredible addition to the game. If that's not possible, then bringing back gunfight tournaments would still be great. It's not pretty, because I've got other things to do, but it's functional. Does this menu solve the 3 UI issues we talked about? The first one, where modes end up getting forgotten, is solved, since all modes are visible at once. The second issue is the frustrating mode selection. What does it mean? Let's say I often play some modes for farming camos, but I also play round-based modes with the boys, and every now and then I play other things. Right now, I just want to play a game or 2 of core to warm up before jumping into some round-based modes. With the existing COD menus, I have to manually uncheck every mode except the ones I want to warm up in, then later, go back and reselect everything I actually want to play. But with this new menu, I just need to select the categories I want to play, and it will only quick play the selected modes within those categories. This is the best that can be done without making it overly complicated. This second issue is also solved. Third, the player base spreads too thin. Fixing the first 2 issues makes players more likely to explore different modes and jump between categories. Combined with the quick play system, which helps fill up less popular modes when needed, it becomes the best solution that doesn't require removing modes. Therefore, I proclaim all issues solved. This new UI works much better with a mouse than a controller. So, players should have the option to switch between this layout and one that's better suited for a controller. At this moment, I'm developing a brand new system that's at least 10 times better than the Season Emblem system. But I'm not sure if giving all my ideas away like this is the right move. So what's the plan then? More on that in... Why did I create this video? For 2 reasons. First, to help make Call of Duty better. I've been playing it for 16 years, and I want to see the game succeed. Second, my goal is to become a game or quest designer. I've played countless games and have a unique outside-the-box perspective. But I knew passion alone wasn't enough, so I went back to school and completed a virtual and augmented reality specialist program where I learned the fundamentals of coding, visual scripting, 3D modeling, UI/UX, project management, storyboarding, and much more. With my newfound knowledge, portfolio in hand, and the power of anime on my side, I've sent over 100 resumes. But I was deceived, for another was chosen. I didn't get a single interview, not even for a game tester position. Since that day, when the gaming industry skill-checked me harder than Margit put these foolish ambitions to rest, I've been improving my skills in Unreal visual scripting, game and UI design, along with some level design. Also, in my free time, I've been building a 2D platformer in Unreal Engine 5 with never-before-seen features. By creating this video, I hope to reach someone who appreciates my ideas and is willing to give me a chance. I would be best in a creative role for either in RPGs, especially fantasy, or FPS games. My top strengths are developing and refining game concepts, designing storylines and quests, creating gameplay systems and mechanics, and crafting UI. If you're interested, my portfolio is in the description. For watching till the end, you earn yourself the Giga D certificate. Don't forget to screenshot your achievement and post it on Facebook so everyone sees just how cool you are.